Hello, good evening everyone, and welcome to all of you watching us on Facebook and all the people on Zoom. We are here to welcome all the people for the kickoff event of the Ocean Challenge for Africa, an online hackathon that's going to take place in April, from the 8th to the 10th of April. But today is the real kickoff of this event. Today is the first time that we're out there putting it out to the world and inviting all the participants to come and listen to the kickoff and come and participate at our event. So today is the first mark of this series of events and the main event that's going to happen in April, the hackathon, where we're going to be together for a few days and hopefully solve one of the most important challenges that we are facing. So after the event, head to the Garage 48 website and the Facebook to check out the further events that we have. So what's this event about? What's the Ocean Challenge for Africa all about? As you can see, I'm somewhat in the middle of the ocean here, every now and then caught behind with some massive whales. So this event is about the coastal and marine environments in Africa, which expand over 35,000 kilometers and cover the coastline of 38 countries on the continent of Africa. And they deliver numerous ecosystem services, but they're also threatened, as we know in recent times, by climate change and the increasing pressures derived by human activities there are near the coastal shores. So these pressures affect the health and the resilience of marine environments and their biodiversity. The Ocean Challenge for Africa is brought to life to create a transformative and impact-driven ocean science solutions in which the participants will try to achieve a sustainable ocean and improve the daily lives of African people. Now, who's behind all of this? This event would not be possible without the help of a tremendous group of organizers, partners, and data partners. And I want to start by mentioning some of the organizers. So behind this, we have Mercator Ocean International, Garage 48, and IOC Africa. And it's also sponsored by the EU's Copernicus Marine Service. So those are the organizers of the event. But no such event would be possible also without its partners. So we also have partnership with United Nations Environmental Program GEMS Ocean. We have Geo Blue Planet and the African Group on Earth's Observations, AfriGeo. And to top it all off, we also have some data partners who are here to provide numerous data sets to help participants during the event to work with these data sets and enrich their solutions with their data. So we have the EUMETSAT, the European Organization for the Exploitation of Meteorological Satellites, and EMODNET, the European Marine Observation and Data Network, as data partners. Having said that, it is my privilege to welcome over Zoom our partners in person, and I would like to start with Pierre Bahurel, who is the CEO at Mercator Ocean International. Pierre, are you with us on Zoom?
I am.
Thank you. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, and hello everyone. As CEO of Mercator Ocean International, I'm very excited to welcome you today for this event. And it has been said, but I must repeat it because really it's a pleasure also to organize this with such partners. I mean, I don't know if you identify who they are, but we made already such events with Garage 48. They are fantastic in coordinating these kind of things. And well, we have IOC Africa. This is the United Nations that are working with us. And we were talking about EUMETSAT for the space data, EMODNET for all the in-situ observations, and we are developing all this ocean prediction, we at Mercator Ocean International, with the support of the European Commission. And with this, I mean, we are there in a constant dialogue with programs such as GEO and the UNEP as well, AfriGeo. So believe me, we have a group of people, of sponsors, of people that are really eager to start with you this adventure. So, what we are doing ourselves is really to prepare the best information we have in mind and to share immediately. And our wish is that you will transform this into something which is really actionable, that could be really concrete and practically used and transform into decisions, into more knowledge. I mean, you're the only one that can do that. So this is the goal of this kickoff to start the process leading to this special event where hopefully we will do that. We have some examples of the kind of dreams we have, and just to stimulate, because we are prepared to be surprised by your innovation. And by doing this, of course, you will change things where you are, and this is exactly what we want to do, but you will also contribute to something which is bigger, which is what the UN called the Ocean Decade of Ocean Science, where we have multiple initiatives that will pop up in different places of the world, including this one, including what you will do yourself. And I hope that we could, with this, contribute to, this punchline, which is the science we want for the ocean we need. So this is the UN Decade motto, and we would like to illustrate concretely with you what could be this kind of innovation that we can bring with you. So I'm looking forward to this special kickoff now, but of course thinking about the what you could develop yourself. So I stop here. I'm very, very happy to be with you, and thank you very much for entering into this game with us.
Super, thank you so much, Pierre. It's a pleasure to do things with, do events with Mercator, and I hope this is going to be a success just like the previous ones. And the next one who is going to come up and also say some welcoming words is also one of the main organizers at this event. It's Mika Odido. He's the IOC coordinator in Africa for the Intergovernmental Oceanographic Commission at UNESCO. Mika, are you with us?
Yes, thank you very much. And I'd like to welcome all participants to this event. It's a pleasure for us to be linked to this Ocean Challenge for Africa. IOC Africa promotes scientific research and understanding of the oceans and coastal environment and resources in the region. In the last 3 days, we've had a workshop on looking at priority issues that we need to address during the UN Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development in the region. And one thing that has particularly been emphasized by most people from the region is the need to focus on data, collection of data, analyzing of the data, interpreting of the data, and using the data to drive development of the ocean economy. One thing that has worried us at IOC is the rather limited amount of publications coming from Africa. IOC has been producing a global ocean science report that looks at investments in ocean sciences globally and tries to break this down by regions. And if you look at the publications coming from the regions, we have very few coming from Africa. It's not even commensurate with the amount of data collection that we have going on in the region. A number of countries have research vessels that go out to collect data, and there's a lot of data available in the public domain. We need to really focus on how do we get our experts to tell a story from this data, and how do we get them to provide useful products to our policymakers, our resource managers, which will assist them in whatever work they do. We see this hackathon as providing an opportunity to focus our minds on the use of this data, to focus our minds on where we can access the data and the tools that we can use to interpret and analyze the data. We are therefore looking forward to working with you in the coming weeks and months to see what we can be able to achieve in improving the focus of our people from the region in the use of valuable data. Thank you very much. And once again, I'm really happy to be associated with this hackathon.
Thank you so much, Mika, and I really think this is this is the perfect blend of organizers for this event, because we can really join forces together and bring also, as you said, the data partners to try to enrich these applications with data and see what solutions are going to come up. I think for me, it's always interesting at these events to challenge the participants and making them see what are the possibilities, and then be surprised by what they come up with during the hackathon. So thank you so much for that. So let's dig in and talk a little bit about what the event is about, and what is this hackathon, when does it take place, and how does it all happen. So today is the kickoff event, and we're here to kick things off. But the event itself, the hackathon, is going to take place from the 8th to the 10th of April. And it's going to be an online hackathon. So you can join us anywhere you are physically present. So it's an online event. It's going to happen from the 8th to the 10th of April 2022. So who are we welcoming at this event? For who are we making this event for? So the focus is on Africa. We already talked about the 38 countries that have coastal areas. We talked about how much of an issue this is for Africa. So we're focusing on Africa. Therefore, we're welcoming participants that are either living in or are from Africa. And we invite business visionaries, marketing wizards, project managers, educators, developers, designers, entrepreneurs, people with experience in product design, service design, but obviously also marine and coastal field experts, students, environmentalists, data scientists, anyone with a connection to the ocean. And at the end of the day, this list is not exhaustive, meaning that if you're passionate about this topic, come in and join us at the hackathon. Because the hackathon these days is not just about developers. You can also come and contribute with your know-how, with your experience, with your skills, but also with your passion and your desire to solve problems. So don't be afraid if you don't have the technical skills. We are welcoming anyone who has an interest in solving the problems that are relevant for the coastal regions of Africa. So as I said, it happens in April, and we're going to focus on 4 main topic areas. So the first one is a healthy and resilient ocean. Anything to do with marine spatial planning, marine protected areas, biodiversity and conservation. So a healthy and resilient ocean. We're also having a focus area on a productive ocean, marine resources, fisheries, aquaculture, anything to do with how the ocean can be seen as a productive environment. Then a third area is a safe ocean, anything to do with maritime safety and weather forecasting. Just last year, I was visiting Namibia, and I had a chance to go to the Skeleton Coast. So anything to do with weather forecasting on those difficult shores is going to be very, very important. So safe ocean is a third area of focus. And finally, an inspiring and engaging ocean. Anything that has to do with raising awareness to the importance of marine issues. Anything to do with ocean literacy. How can we inspire more people to be passionate about the issues facing the ocean? So those are the 4 main topic areas, and within these 4 topic areas, there's a lot of challenges, a lot of problems, a lot of things that need to be tackled and handled. And this is where we are inviting participants to put their energy and attention to during the event. To get you excited about the event, we have some prizes. So you're going to come in and solve problems in teams, and we have some prizes. So number 1, perhaps one of the most appetizing prizes is a cash prize pool of 5,000 euros. And this prize fund is growing, so you can stay tuned for updates, because there will be updates on more prizes that can be added to the pool. But starting off, a cash prize of 5,000 euros. We also have 1-year access to the EU's Copernicus DIAS reference survival for environmental data, WIKIO for all winners. Each of these access has a value of around 1,040 euros. The opportunity to present the winning project as a data user testimony during a Copernicus Marine Service event, And the best projects will be added in the use cases section of the Copernicus website, which will give you a ton of visibility and recognition for your team and your project. On top of that, all the participants are going to get the Ocean Challenge for Africa goodies, so stay tuned for that. And as I mentioned, this prize pool keeps on growing as we get nearer to the event, so stay tuned for those updates. Now, talking a little bit about the timeline. So today we have 27th of January, we have the kickoff event, the program is launched, and the registration is open. So as soon as we're done here, head over to the Garage 48 website and check all the relevant information on how you can register to the event, and check out all the Facebook events that are going to happen. So 8th of February, we have the second pre-event where we have an introduction to the Copernicus Marine Service and Wikio, and that's going to happen on Facebook Live as well. On the 1st of March, we have a very important pre-event, which is all about how to make use of the data, how to use the data and the platforms that are going to be made available for the teams so that you can enrich your applications with data that's provided by our data partners. And on the 19th of March, you have the pre-event for team formation and matchmaking. So basically the idea here is that right now you can come in on your own with an idea, you might want to come in with a team already, and you might want to come in just checking how your skills might be useful for a team that wants to solve a problem. So we have an event dedicated for team formation and matchmaking where you can talk to people who want to solve a similar challenge, and you might want to group together and work as a team at the event. So you have the opportunity to get feedback from mentors on your idea, find missing roles for your team, or if you don't have a team yet, you might join an idea that you like so that you have something to go together for the event. So what's also very important here is that there is time between the data pre-event and the final event kickoff. So there's plenty of time for you guys to play around with the data. So we're going to announce the teams that make it to the hackathon on the 25th of March. That means that on the 22nd, that's the deadline for you to submit your teams. And on the 25th, we announce the teams that make it to the hackathon. Between the 25th and the event itself, so the 8th to 10th of April, you will have access to the data, so you get familiar with it and you can see how it works. And if needed, we have people from the Copernicus Marine Service desk who are here to help you to make sure you know how to play with this data at the event. And then on the 8th and 10th of April, you have 48 hours of teamwork, mentoring, prototyping, everything that happens at a real hackathon. We're going to do it online. We're going to have tons of team, lots of mentors, and we're going to try to see how it can go from one idea in 48 hours to a prototype built on top of some of the data sets that we make available for you. So registration and team formation, like I said, you can register as an individual or you can register as a team. You can have already an idea and put together a team of skilled individuals who are looking for it. Or if you don't have an idea, you can always come in, register yourself as an individual and browse through the existing ideas that are going to be submitted and then say, you know, I'd like to join your team, I'd like to be part of your team. And then those teams who are looking for skills, who are looking for people that are missing, they can come and join you. And as we mentioned, registration, all of that information is going to be on the Garage 48 website, and we will send you the link where you should register, which is going to happen on a different platform called Event Tornado. So you'll get information about that on our website. So eligibility criteria for the teams. How do you get to form a team? What kinds of teams are we going to accept at the final event? As we mentioned, the focus is on Africa, so we're welcoming participants that are either living or are from Africa. The team should consist of minimum 4 people, and we'd like to see field experts, idea owners, data specialists, and hopefully a developer or designer. Take into account that you are going to be trying to make use of data, but the data and the solutions you're going to be working on are going to be used by real users. So someone with a little bit of an usability point of view doesn't have to be a full designer or developer, but it helps if you have some skills in that area. The teams must use at least one of the data sets that are going to be provided for you. So make sure that you get familiar with the data sets before the event and try to pick which ones of these you want to integrate with. It is very important that the teams have at least one English-speaking member. It doesn't have to be a native English-speaking member. In our team, we don't have any English-speaking native members, but we are doing this as an international event. So we're going to be using English for the pitching, and a lot of the communication that we will do with the teams and the support we will do will be in English. So it's important to have at least one English-speaking member, although there will be a ton of participants and support in other languages such as French. Only the ready-made and pre-selected teams formed during the registration process are accepted to the hackathon. That's why it's important to follow that timeline, follow that procedure, and make sure you register and go through the steps of submitting your idea, making sure all your team members are submitted on the platform so that we know who's ready to continue working on this. So having said that, today is all about inspiring you on this topic and getting you excited about the event. So we already had the welcoming words, and the next thing that's going to happen today is we're going to have two topic discussions or two topic presentations. The first of which is going to be by, I see her already ready to join us on the Zoom. So we're going to have Corinne Derval, who is the Portfolio and Market Intelligence Manager at Mercator Ocean International. And then we're going to see Fifi Adodo, the Market Development and Outreach Officer at Mercator Ocean International. So first, I'd like to welcome Corinne. Corinne, you're in Zoom. Can you hear us? I think you might be on mute.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, okay, I can hear you. Super.
Okay.
So, Corinne, the floor is yours. Please give us your thoughts on this.
Okay. So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, is it okay for the sound? So my name is Corinne Derval. I'm very pleased to be there, and thank you for the organization. So I'm going to present you an overview of the European Union data on products available to address the challenges. And Fifi will show you some case studies from the use of this data. So the data on products available for the challenges are from 3 different organizations supported by the European Union. The Copernicus Marine Service is the marine component of the European Union's Copernicus program. EUMETSAT is the European Operational Satellite Agency for monitoring weather, climate, and environment from space. And EMOTNET is a network of organizations supported by European Union integrated maritime policy. There may be common information, but these 3 data providers offer complementary information. EMOTNET delivers a large panel of in-situ observation, EUMETSAT satellite observation data, and the Copernicus Marine Service deliver also satellite and in-situ observation products and analysis and forecast products from numerical representations. All these data on products are free online available for the users with simple registration. So the Copernicus Marine Service offers an online catalog with 200 ocean products over all European seas and over the global ocean. And you can see here all the Copernicus Marine Service domain. There is one single access point, the web portal, and the service is open and free with a simple registration. You can access the full catalog of products. And just a few words to say that there are also ocean monitoring indicators available through the portal. They are key variables used to monitor the oceanic trends in line with climate change calculated from the Copernicus Marine Service products. The Copernicus Marine Service provides satellite in situ on model data. The satellite observation data are surface products along track and gridded product covering more than 27 years since 1993. And they are also available in real time. It's L3 and L4 processing level data. The L3 products are gridded data, mono or merge sensors with gaps after validation process. And the L4 products are gap-free gridded data after validation process. And the spatial resolution is between 100 meters to 25 kilometers. The in-situ observation data come from different international networks and measured from XBT, voice, Marygraph, and so on. They are discrete data, more than 3,000 sensors over the global ocean, from the surface to 2,000 meters depth for Argo data, for example. And the in-situ data are available in real time and also since beginning of 1990. And the analysis and forecast data comes from 3D numerical representations of the ocean and provide information from the surface to the bottom with a long-term series available also from 1993 and provide everyday forecast products with a forecast length of 10 days. So these model products are very close to the reality by using data assimilation methods to assimilate all the satellite and in situ data available. And spatial resolution is from 2 kilometers to 25 kilometers. And parameters delivered in the Copernicus Marine Service catalog are essential ocean variables. To describe this variable, we classify them into 3 groups. The blue ocean that contains the products providing different parameters describing the physical ocean as temperature, salinity, currents, waves parameters, sea surface height, surface wind parameters. The green ocean with the biogeochemistry parameters as primary production with the chlorophyll A, oxygen, nutrients, the carbonate products with the surface pressure of carbon, alkalinity, or pH, for example. And the white ocean contains products describing the sea ice as sea ice concentration, thickness, sea ice drift, sea ice type, and so on. And for all these groups of variables, there are satellite in situ analysis and forecast products. Here, very quickly, an example of the forecast for today of the global net primary production of biomass and the velocity from the global high spatial resolution model products. And here, a zoom showing poiling along the African coast with the representation of mesoscale structures. Now, the Copernicus ocean data from EUMETSAT. EUMETSAT operates and delivers ocean data from Sentinel-3 and Sentinel-6 satellites. Data available are level 1 and level 2 data. In the Copernicus Marine Service portfolio, the satellite data provided is level 3 and level 4 data. Level 1 is for custom processing. There are data corrected for instrumental effects. And level 2 data is corrected for geographical effects, and there are daily data with highest resolution. There are 3 types of data available: the ocean color, for example, with the chlorophyll, the altimetry data as the sea surface height, and the sea surface temperature. This satellite data is available in near real time, so every 3 hours, and also in longer latencies with improved quality. Here are some examples of satellite data from EUMETSAT with the Coccolito trophores in the Barents Sea from Sentinel-3 A level 1, the sea surface temperature from satellite Sentinel-3A and satellite 3B over the global ocean, And the last example is the sea level variation across the Northern Atlantic from satellite Sentinel-3A, Sentinel-3B, and Sentinel-6. There are several possible access depending on the databases on the EUMETSAT portal, including on FTP, viewer service, access to recent data, and access to archive. So I'm not going into details here. There will be a pre-event dedicated to data access and how to use this data. Now, the European Marine Observation and Data Network EMOTNet, which provides an open and free access to marine data, products and service as well. EMOTNet is a large network with more than 150 organizations, experts, and wider community of data providers and users. And EMOTNet provides in situ data from the surface to seafloor and is complementary to Copernicus Marine Service. As the Copernicus Marine Service on the EUMETSAT data portal, EMOTNet data as the Copernicus Marine Service and EUMETSAT data and products, the EMOTNet data is available through a central portal providing a single point of access to the 7 thematic portals. And here you can see 7 thematic for which EMOTNet provides data and products. They are classified as follows: bathymetry products, physics, chemistry, biology, geology, seabed habitats, and human activities products. So to conclude on this overview, the European services based on EUMETSAT, EMOTNet, on the Copernicus Marine Service provide free access to ocean satellites and in situ observations and analysis and forecast, provide long time series and near real time. And all products are scientifically assessed and qualified. There are advanced access services, viewer available, products documentation, and also service desks to support users. These 3 catalogs of products from these 3 services are complementary, and all these data and products are freely available to address the challenges. And so you can access to all the products and data, the documentation, and to the ways to download this data. So thank you for your attention. I will be happy to answer if you have any question.
Thank you, Corinne, for that. It was very thorough, but there's a lot of ground to cover when we talk about what's available for the participants at this event. I think beyond the fact that we are making all of this data available, one of the important questions is what is the format that the data is available. So we will cover perhaps more in detail when we have the pre-event on data, but just to get the participants a little bit familiar on how they can have access to this data and what formats they can access it.
Okay, thank you for the question. The data is distributed in NetCDF format, but today, codes are also available to access the data without having to download it, thanks to protocols such as OpenDAP or HDA on some platform as the Wikio platform, for example. So the user have just to enter the product ID, the variables, and the area he wants to work on. But as you have said, there will be a specific pre-event dedicated to the access.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, Corinne, and I hope to see you at that pre-event and then at the hackathon itself to help the participants. So now let's move on to the second speaker today. We have Fifi Adodo, who's Market Development and Outreach Officer at Mercator Ocean International, who's also joining us through Zoom. So Fifi, can you hear us?
Yes, thank you.
Super,
Joe.
super. Then the floor is yours.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. You got it?
Yeah, we can see it. I think it's on the
Thank you.
last slide.
Okay. Let me start. Okay, thank you. We have seen with my colleague Corinne how EU data and products are available to address the challenges of the 4 topics area previously mentioned by Joao. Now I will present how this EU data and products contribute to more sustainable use and productive ocean through use cases. Use cases demonstrate the concrete usage and the benefit of this data and products. For this kickoff event, I have chosen to present one use case adapted for the Africa context per topic area. However, all use cases are available on the Copernicus Marine Service website. In the area of healthy and resilient ocean, Copernicus Marine Service resources are used for monitoring coral health. When water temperature is too warm, corals will expel the algae living in their tissues, causing the coral to turn completely white. In order to monitor and track coral health, Microsoft Consortium used global ocean sea surface temperature and TIS analysis products provided by the Copernicus Marine Service to develop a satellite-derived risk and monitoring product for ecologically vulnerable coastal and nearshore ecosystem. As shown in the figure below here, the tool provides a user's interface that offers an interactive map-based product viewer with clickable pixel information, giving users the capability to monitor the ocean thermal stress and duration, to identify bleaching alert area, allowing quick response to coral bleaching, and to track historical thermal stress. We are fortunate to have with us today Dr. Maria Smith, a science team member of the Microsoft Consortium that developed this use case. She will be present at the discussions panel. In the area of productive ocean, Copernicus Marine Service resources are used for supporting fish farmers' decision-making. Sea temperature plays an important role in fish production due to the sea temperature effect on fish mortality rates and on fish growth. To sustainably manage fish production, Websteps, a Norwegian private company, has developed a predictive statistical model that allows predicting future temperature for specific areas using the Copernicus Marine Service data. This solution allows users to save time and expertise for fish farmers to get a wiser decision making and to support film fashion decision makers with the impact future events might have in their business. Now, in the area of safe ocean, Copernicus Marine resources are also used for improving operation and emergencies response at sea. Effective response to emergencies at the sea needs reliable ocean current prediction. To meet the needs of search and rescue operators, the IBSA service has developed a free online tool that allows visualizing, comparing, and evaluating the performance of ocean current prediction in the Iberia Biscay Island regional seas. These tools allows users identifying the most accurate ocean current prediction in a specific area and period of interest, which is crucial for organizing the most efficient emergency response. This solution helps to improve search and rescue and pollution control operation, to minimize response time, to optimize search area planning and to allocate resources effectively. In the area of inspiring and engaging ocean, Copernicus Marine Research Service resources are used for supporting outreach and educational purpose. The challenge of this area are to develop tools or services that build up awareness among general public, students, as well as local industry and political stakeholders. The aim is to better empower and inform citizens about our activities' impact on the preservation of our marine environment. In this respect, we have the example of educational support for broad public at the Nausicaa Museum, which showcases exhibitions based on Copernicus Marine Service product to inspire people to discover and love the sea. There is also the project Children for the Ocean, which propose awareness session worldwide, focusing on acidification, overfishing, and plastic pollution to inform as many children as possible in the hope that an educated child today will be an aware citizen tomorrow. To go further in the example of use cases, I have chosen to present some results and inspiring ideas developed in 2 days during the previous hackathons. For example, at the Ocean Hackathon event held in 2021, a participant has proposed to use satellite imagery to better map up regional or global distribution of blue carbon resources such as mangrove, marshes, and seagrasses. This solution will enable nations to better gauge and monitor their own blue carbon resources, continuously monitor ongoing restoration projects, and enable international bodies to objectively evaluate the blue carbon health of nations. The second example is from the Open Sea Lab events at a 3-day bootcamp and hackathon, where teams have competed to develop novel applications using marine open data. The winning team has developed an interface that harnesses the vast resources of available marine data for identifying suitable sites at sea to farm seaweed in Europe. This tool will enable a support decision-making of seaweed farmers for their productivity and sustainable development of their activities. As a reminder, the overarching objective of Ocean Challenge for Africa Hackathon is to come up with innovative ideas of projects such as software or mobile apps proposal using data resources from Copernicus Marine Service, EUMETSAT, and IMODNET. These ideas or projects need to be feasible in technical and functional terms, final user focused, and are useful for and adapted to local or regional African community in a framework of sustainable development. To conclude my presentation, I would like to remind us that the ocean is a common good, and it is the responsibility of each one of us to preserve it. So let's be responsive and creative. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Fifi. I think it was very inspiring, as it was intended to be, to give an overview of what can be done and some practical examples of some of the solutions that were built already on top of the data sets. So I invite all the people watching us on Facebook, if you have any questions for the speakers, you can write the questions on Facebook, and then we'll try to ask them to the speakers. Now, I do have a couple of questions that are about these two presentations. I don't know, Fifi, if you can answer, or if Corinne wants to jump back in and answer as well. But someone was asking about shoreline movements and coastal erosion. Does the data cover that area of research? And do the maps also cover the shallow water depths? I don't know if Corinne wants to answer, or if
Yes.
Fifi wants to. Yeah.
Yes, I can try to answer this question. We don't have higher resolution to represent the coastal zone. We have only some satellite data of 100 meters of resolution close to the coast. But our models, for example, have not higher resolution to represent the coastal physics or biology.
And what about, so was also another question about the resolution of the wave data that is made available.
The resolution of the wave data is 1/5 of degree at the global level, and for the regional level, we have some resolution, higher resolution, about 2.5 kilometers.
All right, very good. Just curious from my side, does it vary a lot from Mediterranean data to the other shores of Africa, the resolutions?
The resolution on the Mediterranean data are higher, is higher than for the global model. So we are about 2.5 and 4 kilometers of resolution for the model, for example.
All right, and perhaps now to Fifi, a question about the inspiring examples that he gave. It was very good to see those examples, and I think they have a very practical outcome. So perhaps a question is, how can we transform, or how can we connect the data sets that are being made available and get them closer to something that people can relate to? How can we get them to make sense for everyday people?
Thank you for the question. I think to tackle this issue, it is important to think of transformation from technical data to accessible information for final users. For example, they can use indicators. For example, the University of Ghana is using numbers associated with the color code to scale the dangerousity of the weather at sea. Then you can think about using also pictogram, visuals, or even vocal apps, for example.
I think that those are the usability aspects that I think are very important to tackle once the participants start thinking of who are the people affected by this problem and how they will be using the solution they develop. A question perhaps for both from the data point and also from the examples that you might bring out. Someone asked if you've developed something on ocean pollution, especially oil spill detection.
Yes, we have an example of a use case of this case on our website. Then if the person wants more inspiration or use cases, he can visit the Copernicus Marine website site.
All right. All right, very good. I just want to give a few more seconds to see if anyone else on Facebook might have a question for the speakers. But I don't see any more questions coming up. So I'd like to thank you both for your presentations and for inspiring our participants to take action. And as Fifi put it, understanding that the ocean is a common good where each one has a responsibility for ensuring their sustainability. So it's also up to the participants to take that step forward and join us at the hackathon to develop solutions to protect this common good. So thank you very much for your inputs. And now let's move on with the rest of the agenda, where we have coming up now, we have a panel discussion where we will invite Marie Smith, who's a senior researcher in marine earth observation, and Jambo Jarumi Gamoyo, who's an oceanographer at the Regional Center for Mapping mapping of resources for development. And we're going to be talking about some themes related to the hackathon. So I'd first like to welcome both of them on Zoom, and I hope that they are present on the Zoom. Can you guys hear us?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
All right. I don't see you yet, but I hope that everyone at home can see you as well. So first of all, can both of you tell us a little bit more about your works and Marie at the Regional Center for Mapping of Resources for Development? So can you tell us a little bit more about your background and your connection with the topic? Marie, maybe we start with you.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you for the invitation to be here tonight. I'm very excited about it. I'm, like you said, I'm a senior researcher at the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research. I'm based in Cape Town, South Africa. I work in the Coastal Systems and Earth Observation Unit. So we primarily deal with marine Earth observation products, trying to validate these products in the real environment, improve them, and using them for different applications in the coastal zone. So normally people would come to us with a research problem somewhere in the coastal zone of South Africa or the African region, and we would work with them to see how and where Earth observation can help them solve their problem.
And Jambo?
Thanks, Gerard. So my name is Majambo, and my background is in physical oceanography, and my keen interest in spatial sciences. So I've worked previously looking at the physical oceanography in the Western Indian Ocean, and trying to understand how that have an impact in terms of habitat distribution and species distribution, basically fisheries and coral reef. But then I've transitioned a bit to more stuff. So I'm currently at the Regional Center for Mapping of Resources based in Nairobi. And at the Regional Center, we mostly focus on promoting sustainable development. And this is through generation, application, and dissemination of geoinformation services and products. And RCMRD being an intergovernmental organization, we work closely with member states and beyond through capacity building. And just to add on to what RCMRD is doing is we mainly focus more on land-based activities. But now we want to transition also more into looking at what avenues are available for ocean and marine resources, being the ocean decade happening now. Thank you.
Very cool. So as you know, we're organizing this hackathon. We're inviting the participants to take action and to put together a team and work on these 4 different topic areas that we suggested. So just as a reminder, we had healthy and resilient ocean, anything to do with marine spatial planning, marine protected areas, biodiversity conservation. We had the second theme, which was a productive ocean, anything to do with marine resources, fisheries, and aquaculture. Then we had a safe ocean, anything to do with maritime safety, weather forecasting. And finally, we had the inspiring and engaging ocean, so kind of educational programs, getting people to focus on these topics. So if I had to put it to you, which of these topics connects more with you and why? Which ones of these you're more connected? Marie, maybe I can start with you again.
Cool. So I would say I'm more interested in or more connected with the productive ocean. And the reason I say that is I've got a background in oceanography and marine biology. And that's how I became interested in the topic of ocean color to address these types of research questions. So much of my research has developed or has involved developing or assessing things that are called chlorophyll products, which we use as a proxy for biomass or productivity or algae in the ocean, which is basically like the grass of the ocean. So that's where the whole marine ecosystem is based on. So based on this, we work closely with the aquaculture and fisheries communities of South Africa, particularly in terms of things like harmful algal bloom detection. So that's like red tides, which can either be toxic or cause harm through deoxygenizing the water or things like that. So yeah, in terms of those types of things, this is what we generally work with. And so yeah, fisheries and aquaculture and supporting those industries.
All right. And Majamba, what about you?
Thanks again. So as I said earlier, we focus more on the land-based activities, but we are trying now to transition into the marine sector, and having, working with the different almost 20 contracting partners, countries within Africa. So what will be of interest for the regional center is more on fisheries, because most of the countries are aligned along the coastline, and also have some inland lakes that are also of fisheries importance. And also we are very strong in terms of capacity building, and this is our core mandate as a intergovernmental organization, to kind of build capacity of our contracting members in terms of using geospatial data and information to make very informed decisions. So yeah, fisheries and capacity building. Yep.
Yeah, I see that the productive part of the ocean is going to be also very keen focus for the participants at the event, for sure. Very hot topic, I predict. Looking at the data sets that were presented, looking at all the science that's behind some of these projects, and what we want the focus of the hackathon to be as well. Perhaps let's bring it a little bit more down to earth, into language that people can understand. So could you perhaps share with us some examples and experience that illustrate the importance of marine earth observation, or science in general, for positive impact on society and environmental change? So what is your vision about the future of ocean data? Marie, maybe let's start with you again.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go on the kind of like your social impact, or the impact that Earth observation might have had. Part of the question first. So as part of one of our projects, or African projects, we were very fortunate enough to engage with a company called Abalobi, and they're a South African based global social enterprise that work with small scale fishers. And they're trying to use basically technology for good. What they found was that safety at sea is a very critical part of small-scale fishers who operate these very small crafts. And they're also potentially limited by the amount of knowledge that they have of the safety at sea, or of the ocean conditions, or whether they should go out that day or not. So what Abalobi ended up doing is developing this Fisher app, which is a very, very low mobile data usage application, because that's also very important for these fishers, that they might have a smartphone, but they don't have a lot of data to use on it. And this basically provides them with a tiny little weather forecast for their region of interest. It tells them the swell is going to be so high, the wind is going to be this direction. And we also provide them with a little sea surface temperature map and a little chlorophyll map of their area where they tend to fish. And they can look at that map and they can see, oh, the temperatures today are not conducive to fishing. It's maybe too hot, the fish aren't going to bite. And they can decide to actually stay at home today, rather save their fuel, maybe rather try tomorrow. Or also they can see if the wind is too strong or the waves are too big, let's not go fish today, it's not safe. We were fortunate enough to work with the fishing communities and actually get their feedback from WhatsApp groups of these products that we were developing. And it was just so satisfying to hear the feedback, like, thank you so much. We didn't know there was a red tide because we knew, they could make their decisions of their daily, like where their livelihoods were coming from. They could make their decisions based on the
application
and based on the data that they were getting. So yeah, that was one of the nice things.
I love it.
that
I
we
love it
got
because it
through
has.
this.
I love it because it has a very practical outcome to people's daily life. And when you talk about a lot of communities that depend on the ocean for sustenance and their daily life, and many of them are fisher farmers, then they need to decide when to fish and when to farm. So using data really helps them to schedule these activities a lot better and be more productive of it. So that's a great example. Majambo, what about you? Do you have any vision for data being used for the communities or the people affected, or any ways that the science can be translated down to making a change in society?
Definitely. For our case, we've going back to working more on land-based solutions. So we've used a lot of geoinformation satellite imagery to kind of find solution for different issues or problems. And one case is we developed a model that forecasts on the vegetation condition. And this kind of gives more information on the condition on pasture for agriculture and animals within rangelands areas and agricultural areas. But then that same technique or information can be transferred into the marine spectrum to kind of get more information, as Mari stated, in terms of red tides, looking at potential fishing zones. All that information can be generated using geoinformation. And just that is just one case point that we've used geoinformation and technology to come up with solutions to assist the local communities and the government itself. Thank you.
Very cool, very cool. Perhaps one question directed to you, but with a focus on the participants. I think it was Fifi in his presentation talked about how the solutions being developed here needs to take into account the realities of Africa. And we talk of Africa as a big continent, and the realities are different. You both are located in different parts of Africa. So perhaps some advice to the participants: what should they take into account looking at the realities on the ground, and how some of their applications are going to end up being used by the participants? What advice do you have? Maybe this time, Manjambo, let's start with you. Any advice you have to give to the hackathon participants when they develop these solutions for the end users?
I think the most important thing is to think about the community or the country that the app is going to serve. And the other thing is also to get that engagement with the local stakeholders, be it the local governments or the communities themselves, because those have the indigenous knowledge that can be used to kind of develop the solutions for them.
Absolutely. I think this is crucial, and this is something we try to push all the time, which is, validate with your users, talk to your users, talk to the people who are affected by the problem to see whether you're moving in the right direction. And at the end of the day, that's the whole point of a hackathon, going from one idea in 48 hours, build a prototype that you can test with your target audience. Yeah. And Marie, what about you? Any advice or any things to avoid when focusing on these issues?
I would say, or something that we found when we were starting to develop these like decision support tools and user tools, is we came up with these elaborate ideas of what we thought people needed. And, a lot of the time they just want to make a simple decision. They just want to know, should I do this? Yes or no? Or, should I go fishing today? Yes or no? Is it safe to go swimming in that one spot? Yes or no? So I would say, rather start off with a simple idea and make it work properly than trying to get too technical and too involved. And something else that I would definitely keep in mind is that, and this applies for the whole world really, the majority of people do not necessarily have computers or are not necessarily able to go onto the internet on a computer. So either a small, simple phone just with SMS or maybe a simple smartphone is kind of the best that you can hope for on average. So making your solution at least scalable to a mobile phone or making it specifically for a mobile phone is almost definitely the way to go when it comes to Africa. And then obviously everything when it comes to community buy-in, getting people to co-design, helping to solve the problems of actual people on the ground, that's all very important, definitely.
Yeah, very.
Yeah, keep it simple, keep it mobile.
Yeah, very good. Very good points, because not everything needs to be an app, and there's definitely different ways to engage and reach the users and get them to see the benefits of the solutions that you're developing. And then perhaps finally, just as maybe as inspiration for the participants as well, if you could participate in the hackathon as a participant, what topic would you pick, and what would be the challenge that would motivate you? So what problem would you come here to solve that you would hope to do something in 48 hours? Marie, maybe with you again.
I'm not, when I thought about it, I didn't really follow my advice of keeping it very simple. So I was thinking more along the lines of things like developing a toolbox for looking for specific zones in the coastal region where you can either place like a wind farm or a aquaculture zone or things like that. So being able to just have a couple of boxes that you can fill in, like, I want temperatures of this and this range, and I want wind at this and this range, and I want waves between this and this range. Find me all the regions along the coast that have those things. So that was my immediate one, but that's, like I said, it's quite technical. So, but yeah, that would be quite cool if someone wanted to come up with that solution.
Very cool, very cool. Majambo, what about you?
I think more on marine protected areas. And the reason, because I've worked a lot in that domain. And one thing that, with marine protected areas, there are a lot of variables that are involved for a country or an area to be designated a marine protected area. And so you need to understand all these different variables to kind of identify a potential area that can, be at the best a site for protection. And in this case, now you have other, like fisheries, which are also involved in that domain. But basically, marine protected areas, and on another angle is on marine spatial planning.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, it would be great to have you, participate at the hackathon and be one of the teams working here. But I hope that if you don't come in as participants, that you will be available throughout the event to help the participants make progress and to help them make sense of all the data that's there. Majambo, I think someone on the audience had a question for you. If there's a way that they can get in touch with you to see if they can get hold of the model that you've been building, is that something that's possible?
Yeah, so that was when I was doing my PhD a while back, 2018. But yeah, so we can have a chat and see the best way to go about it. And just to mention that we published our recent paper in Science, and this was looking at the different sources and sinks for marine fisheries. And that also relates to marine protected areas and the locally managed areas. Yeah. So
Super.
I'll probably drop that information, and then it can be shared with everyone.
Yeah, I think that would be useful for the ones. So I don't see any more questions on the chat. So I think all that's left is to thank you for being here today at the panel. And to inspire the participants as well to come and build new applications, new solutions for this very, very important topic. So thank you both for being here. And now let's invite back to the stage Pierre Baruel, who's going to give you some motivational words as we finish off this kickoff event. Pierre?
Thank you, Joe. I just want to say thank you, of course, to Mika for being with me on this, and to Corinne, Fifi, Maria, and Majambo. Thank you very much for all this idea that you put into this into the discussion, and Joe, for your leadership. And I want to share with you what I was looking at. I mean, you were asking questions and when coordinating this discussion with the panelists, and when you asked to Maria and Majambo, what could you do if you could participate, then they were smiling, thinking about what they could produce. And it was a different, well, the mood was completely different. So thank you very much for this, because then we see what we want to happen, and we have the idea that it will happen. So thank you to all, to you especially, to the participants, and now it's your turn, participants. So I hope you will enjoy the Ocean Challenge for Africa, and that we will witness many powerful societal and environmental solutions from it. Thank you, good luck, and see you soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Pierre. Thank you to all the team behind this event, the organizers, the partners, the data people, the speakers we had here today, the team who's put all of this together for the kickoff. As I said, you can now go to Garage 48 website. The link is going to be posted so that you can check information about the Ocean Challenge for Africa. You can then start registering as an individual or a team. And we hope that today served its purpose to kick off this event, to motivate all of you, as Pierre was saying, to put smiles on people's faces, to come up with new solutions for existing problems, to uncover new problems that need solutions based on the data that is being made available. So all that's left for me is to invite you all to go to the Garage 48 website to check information about this event, and to bid you farewell and wait for you at the next pre-event, which is going to take place on the 8th of February, where we will introduce the Copernicus Marine Service and Wikio. So thank you so much, and see you on the 8th of February.